We all know that winning in Splatoon is knowing how to play the game, coordinating with your team, your mechanics, understanding of matchups, but there's one thing I think needs to be highlighted more, and I think one member in our community captures it really well. Popgun, a former competitive player for Destiny Troops, said, "The most dangerous teams in this community are the ones who truly don't give a shit. Low ink ban, plus server, who cares? They just play the game without fear of or lack of respect for the opponent. Once you realize every game starts out 0-0, you realize nobody is unbeatable." Now, if you don't know anything about the competitive scene of Splatoon, there's probably bits and pieces of this quote that you won't understand, but I think you still get the main point of it, and that's having the right mentality to win in this game. For this video, let's take a closer look on why this mentality is the best mentality for improving and winning in Splatoon. Let's set some context first. There's terms such as low ink band and plus server, and while I can go into extended detail about them, let me make it simple for you. In the competitive scene, there are various levels for teams and individual players. Some teams are considered low level, mid level, high level, or top level. Some individual players are considered really good, and they can get voted into a private server called the plus server where they can find quality practice. So basically, we can think of the quote like this: "The most dangerous teams in this community are the ones who truly don't give a shit. Regardless of quote-unquote skill level, who cares? They just play the game without fear of or lack of respect for the opponent. And once you realize every game starts 0-0, you realize nobody is unbeatable." Why is this mentality important to have in competitive play? When you go into a match and you start to think that the other team is unbeatable because of who they are, what division they are, what results they've gotten, you probably already lost half the battle. Because part of this game is not just the physical aspect of being mechanically sound and coordinated with your team, but it's about having the right mindset to win regardless of what obstacle is in your way. So where is this quote coming from? Well, I haven't had a chance to follow up with Popgun, but I can only speculate and think that this is because of all the crazy tournament results that happened in the second week of June 2023. Whether you were watching Paddling Pool, Proving Grounds, or the second Nintendo qualifier, you were bound to see something crazy happening, and it shows that if you go in with this mentality, you can come out on top. I'm sure if Popgun does talk about this, he'll cover it on Twitch on his podcast, which you should definitely check out, and I will link down below. But for now, let's take a look at tournament results that prove how this mentality is the winning mentality. Let's start off with Proving Grounds, because I think this is the primary reason why Popgun posted this quote. Proving Grounds is a bi-weekly tournament with no skill cap, so any team can enter to prove themselves as being one of the up-and-coming teams in the scene. The unique thing about this tournament is that it is a single elimination until the top 4 bracket, meaning that once you're out, unless you were able to make it into semifinals. So in Proving Grounds 14, we saw a crazy run by Secret Elixir, a rising team in the competitive scene. Captained by Kurta, who recruited Twig, OBT, Jarrett, and Soda, they proved to be a menace since their founding, honestly. They became Minnow Cup champs very fast, and in their first low ink appearance, they got second place, which is honestly pretty crazy. They are your quote-unquote low-level team playing in a high-level tournament, who were seeded 15 out of 32 teams. But when they continued to move in the bracket, they beat the 2nd seed and the 7th seed in the tournament. And if you know anything about seeding in tournaments, you would know that these numbers reflect what tournament organizers predict will be moving forward in the bracket. In this case, 1-2 Buckle My Shoe was predicted the number 2 seed, and it's pretty obviously why. They are a strong team with members who have gotten various podium results in other tournaments. So when Secret Elixir faced them, the seeding predicted that Secret Elixir would lose, but no, that's not what happened. Instead, Secret Elixir beat them convincingly in a 3-0 set, no games lost. The 15 seed in the tournament just took out who the tournament organizers predicted would go to finals. And Secret Elixir didn't stop there. They went on to beat Silly Kitties, another team who has proven themselves to compete in high level. They went and beat them 3-2. And these crazy results did not stop here. In the Nintendo qualifier, we saw Red Sun, a high-level team, put themselves to the test by entering a tournament usually dominated by top-level teams. While Red Sun did not punch their ticket to go to the Nintendo 2023 Splatoon Championship, the run that they had was incredible when you look at the teams they faced. Unfortunately for us, the matches were not streamed, but when looking at the Battlefight page, I'm sure many people were amazed with how Red Sun performed. Their bracket run included beating top-level teams such as Nightmare 3-2 and Last Resort 3-2. Nightmare, an InkTV Resurgence Major qualifier, and Last Resort, a team who placed in top 4 in the first Nintendo qualifier. Basically, two teams that have proven themselves capable in top level. So, what was the reaction like on Twitter? Well, there was one tweet that stood out saying how Last Resort, a top level team, was losing to Red Sun, a Ludi Division 2 team. And honestly, these type of comments are pretty strange because one, Ludi Division placements are really old at this point, but more importantly, who cares what number division you are? These numbers are just estimates of what Ludi tournament organizers think about your skill. Once you start creating these artificial ceilings for yourself, you limit your potential. Imagine if Red Sun went into this tournament and had the mentality of, well, we're a Division 2 team fighting against top level teams such as Nightmare and Last Resort. There's no way we can win. At that point, having that mentality could have impacted their performance. But no, that's not what Red Sun did. Instead, they do what they do best. They play the game, they play for the result, regardless of who is in their way. Who cares? Who cares whether you're lowing band or not? Who cares if you're in the plus server? Who cares what division you are? Who cares what power level you got in X rank? All these numbers and these titles don't mean anything at the end of the day. The result does. Don't let a number or title define you. You define yourself and prove to yourself what you're capable of. Both teams start off on equal footing, and if you play your cards right, no team is unbeatable. Just take a look at Secret Elixir and Red Sun. They've shown that they can pass their limits.